Lincoln from the Heights has cupping concerns.
Well, the original floors of his house have done something he's never seen before, Tom. His tenant sent him this picture. And if you follow the line, you don't see it right away. It's one of those things like, oh my God. You look down between the chairs, you can see they've rested something on top of the floor.
Yeah.
And Lincoln writes, the house is pier and beam, no insulation under the subfloor. My tenant had been out of town for a while, and my guess is they didn't turn on the AC while they were gone. What can I do to fix this problem? Do you suggest I replace the entire floor? I'm just dumbfounded because these are the original hardwood floors, and I've never seen this issue before, Tom.
I don't think you're going to get the floor. It's that severe to come back down. So I think you're going to have to get a wood floor expert. Now, they're a little different than you go to floor covering places, and they sell all the engineered floors and things like that. And I will guarantee if you go to any of those places, they're going to want to sell you an engineered floor. If you want to save this floor, you'll have to replace sections of it with some new wood, have the whole thing refinished. One thing caught my eye just looking at it. It is so shiny, it's got a urethane finish on there. So that's the first thing you don't want to do with an old wood floor. And I'll guarantee you, most of that floor's life was not urethane. It was a wax finish. So I would tell you to go back with a sealer and a wax if they can sand that floor down. And that's why I want you to have a wood floor person come in and take a look at what's there. Maybe they can save the most of it and just replace that section. The other thing is we've had a very wet year. It's had a lot of rain in June. What was before June? May, maybe? From April, May, June. Let me go the right direction. I'll remember it. April, May, June, and even a little in July at the beginning. We had a lot of rain this year. And if they didn't leave the air conditioner on and that humidity went up, that's the result of a floor. You've seen them in gymnasiums and stuff. They'll buckle 6 feet in the air of any floor that gets a lot of moisture, whether it's humidity or, of course, if it's a flood type situation. And the last thing is I'd like you to take a look at that old house and make sure that water is not puddling under that house anymore, because that would compound the problem. But I have a feeling it's air conditioner off, the heavy rains we had, and the urethane. All those things came together as what we call the perfect storm and made this happen for you. And I think that's probably the issue that you're dealing with now.
Now, Tom, it's not the kind of wood or anything like that. You think it's
that's
like
an
you
oak
said,
floor,
right? You look at you can see the urethane underneath there, and it's just and we have had this question before, and there are some cases where you've said, well, maybe it'll settle back down, but this one, I mean, once it's cupped, is it gone? I mean, is that the deal?
Well, that's more than cupping. That actually was expansion of probably
like
more than an inch or so.
Yeah,
it heaved up. So it let go, the nails let go. Everything is not good in this. This all has to be removed. And I think you're going to go down with some new oak flooring to match, and oak will match. It might even have to be milled the same size, which it can be done. You say, oh, it's so expensive per piece. But yeah, but you don't need that many pieces if you can save the rest of the floor. Usually what happens with a urethane is you just get a little cupping on the edge during certain times of the year, because the bottom can move, but the top has that urethane on there and it can't. So it wants to buckle or cup is a better word for it. And that's kind of annoying, but a lot of people just let it go. But in this case, you had so much moisture going on with no air conditioning. And remember, you have to air condition a wood floor. You have to keep it acclimated. Even when we bring in new wood, you have to lay it in the house for a couple of weeks for the air conditioner being on, so it acclimates to the house when you put it in. So it's not something that you can just throw out in the backyard and bring back in by any means. And I think that's probably the combination of those things made it happen. And that's a lot of it's going to have to be replaced. I hope they can save the rest, because what happens is if it's been refinished a lot over a lot of years, then it gets so thin on the top, if you keep sanding it off, then all of a sudden the groove where the tongue goes into, the groove starts to not be non-existent on the top anymore, and then you have to replace the whole thing.
You want to know what's up with your house? You do what Lincoln did. Go ahead and click that blue Ask Tom button. Send us your question. It'll take you to this page. You can send us a video of what you're up against as well if you want, or just go ahead and send us a picture. The pictures really help. As you can see, if Lincoln had described that, Tom, without a picture, we'd have been hard-pressed to understand exactly how egregious his problem was. So go ahead and do that. Send it to us, and we will answer it in a video just like this. Tom does a new one every day, and we're happy that he does. And so we post them at HomeShowRadio.com, our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, but there's always something waiting for you at HomeShowRadio.com.